Testing. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Fight. Sorry, me having to do a quick mic test. My audio settings were all sorts of screwed up. But I am Dr. Fish. I will be your op for this evening. Alongside me to cast are two wonderful individuals. We have Thankis Dad and Kotamora. Gentlemen, go ahead, take it away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Tonight we've got a big match here against Saronite Pain Gang's Eternal going against Explosive Sheep's Sharkbait in the Legacy series. Already, Saronite Pain Gang is in the lead 8-2, so looks like it's a little bit of pressure on Sharkbait to pick up a win and bring his team back into the series.
Yeah, I really look forward to Eternal playing. I mean, he's sitting on 0-5, but every week is a new week, and I definitely think having kind of the pressure off, you're already ahead. I definitely think leads to that chance to kind of have that breakthrough week. Also, very interesting is the lineups. It's outside of Paladin, which shocker, they both banned. It's every deck is new, so this is going to be very interesting.
Yes. All right, and yeah, we have some stuff here. Eternal, without the Paladin, has the Priest, Shaman, and Warrior, and Sharkbait bought her. Correction, my apologies. Hunter, Mage, and Warlock. So, looks like, we don't see a lot of the usual legacy classes that tend to be in most weeks, so we should have an exciting matchup. Any decks you have your eye on, Kotamora?
The priest bring by Eternal is interesting. Like, are they going Boar? Or are they going the new Bless Miracle Naga Wiggy McWiggerson kind of play? Because there's such a disparity between the different decks, right? Boar's great into certain lineups, where the Bless version is different into better lineups. And then you have kind of the Mage and Warlock brings from Sharkbait. And I just, are they going Murlocs? Are they going the Curse option? Do we see an OTK? It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, lots and lots of choices. I'm, hoping that if Sharkbait gets bored to death, that the viewers won't be. But yeah, it's exciting. I know too that just looking at this, if Eternal brought a Burn Shaman, it actually looks really powerful into most of the decks that we're seeing on Sharkbait's side. I mean, her Hunter, Mage, and Warlock all tend to get things done a little more slowly than Shaman, or expose themselves to freeze. So it could be that Eternal has a leg up there. On the other side, though, maybe Sharkbait has an Amulet Mage or Mech that can go under Shaman and get there before Snowfall Guardian comes down. So lots of possibilities, and I'm excited to see how it plays out.
No, absolutely. What's really interesting is, especially we talk about the different seeds, and I mean, I've played in 5 seed for the last 3 seasons. I've been lucky enough this season to go 5-0, and what I've seen is the different play styles, and the 5 seed always tends to be that kind of wild card when it comes to the different lineups, and I think we're seeing that here is, they play what they're most comfortable with, and I think this place tends to play more comfort over meta, or they tend to vary from the teams a little bit. The warrior, the Eternal bringing, I'm wondering if that's the new kind of charge warrior build, or are they going control warrior? There's so many questions that I'm very interested in. This is what makes it so exciting.
Oh, definitely. And I'm wondering what sort of answers we're going to find, but I think that, we'll see what the players have in store for us, and hopefully it's a good show. I'm sure that Warrior 2 is the charge variant. I know that at least in my ladder play, I've been seeing a lot of that lately. It's been very strong.
Of warrior charge. Yep. We've been talking about that eternally as well. That and the charge has definitely been on the table. It'd be very interesting. I mean, and the Warlock bring is, even though I brought it last week, has been kind of a not an ordinary pick. So definitely looking there. Okay, what we have is Hunter versus Warrior.
All right, let's jump on in. All right, so already kicking things off here. Looks like it is the Charge Warrior here on Eternal's side, and Sharkbait has the Naga Big Beast Hunter, which actually here with this hand, it's going to be real hard for Eternal to beat this. There's a From the Depths there, but just look at this pressure that's already coming on Sharkbait's side. She's already racking up the damage, tons of board presence, and her plan looks pretty solidly like Face Hunters this game, which isn't always what you see.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you get out of this? So if you're Eternal, what are you looking for, especially from the depths? But like in the next 2 turns, how do you recover from this?
So I think here Eternal's probably looking to just take this to the face for a turn, maybe use the Outrider's Axe to draw a card, and then next turn draw a second time, use the Forged in Flame, and try to use your 0 mana armor in pair with a Shield Shatter to clear this board and sort of reset. It's just awkward though, because you see cards like Mountain Bear on the other side there that can just take over the game. Never mind what Sharkbait is doing with her Nagas and her fish. So let's see. Yes. So I think this decision sort of is just really showing how powerful like the start is. Like Eternal's just, forced to maybe shield slam this 5/6 and just keep taking the damage without really drawing cards or developing.
Now, do you trade away this? Yeah, you need to go dig. You need to find a brawl. You need to find some removal, some way to reset this board. You just can't keep kind of surviving. That doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think not playing the axe there really is just. I think that leaves Eternal without a real path to win. And I'm hoping that is a bad assumption, but without the axe and without the card draw from Forge and Flame, I don't think that Eternal can really get out of this jam.
I think you have to play School Teacher on both sides. And to me, I think a School Teacher.
No. I like this play. I think Sharkbait is putting the minions on the board and she is hitting the face. That's a good plan. Oh, and there's the Shatter. But no armor gain.
No armor gain.
So Eternal would have gotten out of the jam had they gone with the Outrider's Axe line. But we're going to see now what happens next. What's the draw? It's another to the front. No. That's not going to do it. So Ramming Mount's hero power here sets Eternal to 1.
Yeah.
If Sharkbait wants to take that play. She also can go for a Pet Collector to just keep putting pressure on the board. School Teacher, minions playable.
I mean, I definitely like the hero power and used in Ramming Mount to just continue the pressure down, just keep the pressure up, put them at 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Frozen Buckler though can put this game back in play, but no Buckler there. Is there one in the School Teacher?
Time to dig.
All right, buckle up. Oh, I don't like this.
I mean, it's less.
And neither did Eternal.
Yeah, this is.
Now it's over.
There's a less upfront mana cost to kind of maybe be able to play whatever out you're given, but
no outs anyway.
Well, the Snowed In would have bought him a turn, right?
No way to damage a minion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, Hunter takes a favorable matchup, but yeah, looks like we will see more of this Charge Warrior from Eternal later. But
Sharkbait run the Warrior back? That's always the question I wonder is: do you just run whatever deck you have back, or do you look at the rest of the decks and kind of figure out? We have Mage and we have Warlock next.
Well, math says you should choose randomly, but if you are trying to think about this here, I think that the Warrior should actually be pretty good into both Mage and Warlock if you're assuming a traditional build on Sharkbait's part. And I think that Eternal seems to agree.
I'm wondering if this is Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think. Okay, Warlock. Now is this
Murlocs.
Murlocs. Interesting.
All right, so
We can see the same thing again.
yeah. So I think that Sharkbait here is going to be looking for her Murlocs, her dredge cards to make the
Mhm.
Murlocs cost life. Looking to put those Murlocs on the bottom and give buffs.
Yep.
But Eternal really just needs one good board clear to stabilize. And one thing that's nice is if Sharkbait misses her buffs, Eternal can just slam Galvangar, slam Nelly.
Ooh.
Oh, great mulligan
That's
on Sharkbait's part. But, good one for Eternal too.
Yeah.
All right. So Rokara Shatter on 7 is something I'm interested in already. I like the coin here on Sharkbait's part. She can dredge up her Murloc later.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a little bit ambitious though, pushing damage, but you're losing your sunken scavenger. But you can just dredge it up with the blood scent vial fins that are on the bottom. That works out.
It's funny how it works out like that.
Yeah. All right. We'll see the armor here. So, if you were in Eternal shoes, Kodamura, how would you navigate this game from this spot? What are you thinking about? Like, what's got you worried?
This is what it has me worried: is getting a wide board early, leaving up, taking up too much damage before I can reset. Now, the one thing about control, any warrior in general, is you have this ability to reset the board, which the Murlocs just have a hard time recovering from. So being able to just kind of survive at a decent life. Remember that your life is a resource and you're allowed to take your damage, but just knowing you have that kind of out at some point.
Yeah.
So just keeping ahead of that, making sure you're not just you're leaving too much on board, and just playing for your outs. I mean, just kind of keep everything in control.
Yeah, and I like this look play from Eternal here to use the Shield Slam. It gives him a little bit more of an option here to just like limit the damage, because if Eternal hadn't committed that Shield Slam, Sharkbait would have been pushing another 7. So now Outrider's Axe looks good, and then you have the plate Hero Power Shatter to get out of the jam next turn. So
yeah, removing War Leaders is key. It drops down a lot of your damage, and the good thing about for Eternal is the fact that you really can't buff the board this early. So outside of the War Leaders, so it's onesies and twosies on board. That's okay.
Yes. So here we'll see the Vilefin get that Scavenger on top, probably.
Yeah, Scavenger is long-term play. War Leader is if you try to race them down, right? So do you think you can do they have the removal or not? You have to assume they do. So Scavenger I like.
Well, Scavenger also is still giving buffs to and pushing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Yeah, you got Scavenger and Seer. Yeah, next turn. Well, Scavenger, Seer, and Scout, because it's life, right?
Yes.
That's nice.
So in comes the damage. Now, interesting decision point here about whether Eternal wants to draw this card before clearing the board. I think I would want to do that. Eternal missed 2 armor. So with that combination, you can hero power too to to further discount the shatter. So we'll see if that 2 damage is costly.
And those 2 points could come back. Now there is no board, so this is where you want to be as Eternal, kind of a clear board. Force them. At this point, as Sharkbait, do you hero power just to draw? Try to
definitely.
Your hand?
Oh, absolutely.
I agree. Yep.
And
start buffing.
Yeah, or you could just play this Fin Twin. You can hold back.
this is the play, right? So like, it's only a 2-1 though. I mean that's what hurts, right? Like
Well, at this point, Eternal can draw all the cards. I think that I would probably, if in Eternal shoes, played this a little bit more aggressively with my card draw, trying to use the Hammer and the Forged in Flame to just dig all the way, because I want to play Rokara next turn. So we'll see what happens.
You think Eternal's turned the corner at this point?
Oh yeah, that's a Nelly. This is
Yeah,
going to
this
be
is-
very hard for Sharkbait.
yeah, I agree.
Well, hand buff though can keep tapping, and she can keep up with her own draw engine. But
Yeah, I think it's a little too late. I think the clear was good enough.
that is a good one
never-
though. Probably the best possible draw. I think
The
this
one
is
thing
a
about
little
Eternal-
greedy though.
Yeah, and I think Eternal's what's scary from Eternal is it is a charged warrior, right? So it can play damage directly from hand. Nothing really needs to sit on board. Where Sharkbait needs to build the board, and she needs to kind of let it sit for a turn, and that's always dangerous against a warrior that can clear it out or just kind of go over the top.
Definitely.
That's a scary life total.
Yeah, I think honestly in this spot I like clearing the scout.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
I think I would have just slammed the Nelly. They don't have silence. You know that they don't have, or I guess that this War Leader still sitting in hand. Maybe you're a little scared of Gigafin for 0 mana.
There's also the idea of like let them play their board out and then take it all.
Yes.
Right? Because you're not in any danger of losing next turn. Allow them to think that you don't have the clear or make them have it, right? And then you drop. It just, I think it plays more into just let them play the board. I think you're not in any danger.
Yeah. I do feel though like Sharkbait or Eternal's giving Sharkbait a lot of time, and if the Murlocs are able to scale somehow, that's bad news. Like this chum bucket here is going to make some large Murlocs.
Yeah, very much so. Which is why I wondered, like, that's where the value of keeping the Twin Fin in hand, right? Because then it gets bigger in hand, and then it's more of a surprise thing coming out the board, and you get 2 of them. I think that's where the true value is.
Yeah, and for some reason, Sharkbait does not want to use this chum bucket.
And that's the kind of the trade-off, right? Of like how many do you want on board versus how many you want in hand to get the buff, and kind of finding that sweet balance.
Yes. Well, I think this is where you might want to use that shatter. I think Eternal though is just holding the Nelly, holding back the proactive tools. Like I just don't see this combo coming together still for maybe another 3 or 4 turns. Even then,
Just clearing off 1. Yeah, I mean you're like there's 6-8 on the return. I just don't know how threatened you really feel to where then you always look for that shatter Nelly play, and he's going for a shatter, but not a. Okay, he was thinking about it. I was like, I think you can take another turn here, make them commit to the board.
Yeah, I think this gives Sharkbait outs, and
well, think about it. There's a 5 health kind of point that we want to reach, right? And even with the Seer, none of the Murlocs are going to get beyond that 5. So anything they play, you'll be able to clear with the shatter.
Well, so with a chum bucket though, those Murlocs in hand get +4/+4 currently.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think we might see this into bucket and give them even more stats. Sunken Scavenger on top, because Sharkbait also could have done the scout. What are we holding?
You're running out of board space. You're running out of board space though too, because you're at 5. You drop this, you're at 6. You can't really play stuff in hand.
All right, Sharkbait, you have to play the bucket here. Come on. This is this line is too greedy.
And it plays directly into a shatter. Like this.
Yeah.
This is what I was worried about.
Well, I think though at this point, if Eternal had pursued other options, Sharkbait might actually have been dead here to this Mr. Smite plus Faceless. But looks like the clear is there.
The thing with Warrior is you always have another turn. That's the mentality, right? Yeah, I can always do it next turn. I can always do it next turn. I can always do it next turn. And you get caught in the trap, but this is definitely clear. Now, do you agree with Hero Power over Nelly?
Well, at this point
now it's play now.
I still think you've ripped the Forged in Flame, but
If
you
you're
have
going that line, you should. Yes, absolutely. But if not, if you're not playing Nelly, then you should definitely Fortune Flame. Like draw your cards.
yes, but it looks like it's not going to matter. Eternal has a lethal setup, and I don't see a way out of this for Sharkbait anymore.
I do not either. There's nothing. And every damage she takes is just making it easier.
Yeah.
And this reminds me so much of back in the day of the Faceless and Leroy Jenkins nonsense.
Faceless and which card?
Leroy. Talking way back in the day.
Oh yes, I mean, do you remember? Do you remember Charge Giants back in the day?
Yes. Yeah. This is all right. So, what do you bring here? So, do you come back with the Murlocs? Murlocs going into we got a priest and we got a shaman left. I mean,
So,
again, it varies on what decks they bring, right?
Right. So I think that pretty much every shaman will be doing well against Murlocs these days just because of Snowfall Guardian. Murlocs don't run any bursts out of hand, so something like a freeze really messes up Sharkbait's game plan. And then with Priest, I honestly think that if it's the Naga Priest, that the player who is on the coin will be the one on the back foot. So whoever's going first is looking good to me. I think the Priest has a little bit more going on, but Murlocs on the play can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, it looks like we see the Shaman into the Murlocs. And
uphill battle.
Yes, and we'll see if Sharkbait chooses to go about her business a little differently this time.
Hand. This is a good hand.
It's a great hand for both players.
Yeah.
I think maybe you can afford to pitch this Bolner if you're Eternal, but Bolner's a pretty great card. So yeah, Eternal ships it, looking for Guardian, hits Guardian, and yeah, and Bolner's back. So looks like everything's coming up Eternal so far. We'll see if Sharkbait can counter with some good draws of her own. I think.
Now, is she going to go the Tide Caller into coin rock bottom like she did last time, or is she going? Yep, looks like she's going down that same play.
And with the second rock bottom in hand, and knowing that you're against a shaman where you're on the clock, I like this play a lot better in this matchup. And you can take something. I don't know what I'm not sure what we took. It's the Murloc Tiny Fin that has gone to the top to make sure we get this extra one here. And I think here you need to go with the Scavenger.
You have to utilize your full mana. Like you can't rock bottom. You can't. I don't think Void Kill gives you enough value. I mean, well, it plays a 2/2, I guess.
It is the most pressure. Clear off that. But this game's pretty done here, it looks like.
Which is sad to say so early, right? Like you want to see more from the pressure because you have to outrun the shaman.
Yes.
But there's a lot. Early clears, early stalls.
Ooh, that's a macaw. Those are all very good cards to have. And Eternal snaps up that parrot. And just takes it slow here with the totem. Plays around the Twin Fin. Holds the Wind Chill for the Murlocs that could be a little bigger. And pick up a Scavenger. So, nope, the War Leader. So yeah, I think that like here just like Sharkbait's playing this aggressively, setting up for a big War Leader turn. Maelstrom Portal's gonna hurt though.
A lot. Not much value out of the Tiny Fin. Especially none of the buffs, none of the extra value.
Oh no, Eternal, don't get greedy. Mousing over that school teacher, that's scary.
School teacher, it's scary, but it's so tempting because you're like, it's such value. It's a 5/4, and it gives me things. But this is the correct play. Clear the board, reset. Oh, what a drop!
Yeah, I like the Wind Chill here. Just keep the keep things going. And another Maelstrom portal. That's pretty good. And
So how do you
we see.
recover Sharpbait? How do you come back from this? What are you looking for?
I'm going to be tapping, hitting my button, trying to maybe find a Gigafin eventually. But I think that if I'm Sharkbait, I would be scaling my Murlocs. And I think that she has to start finding a way to make them large enough to just punch through all of Eternal's removal. But
I agree. I think it's a definitely tap first every turn from here on out. You have to start.
Chain Lightning's phenomenal.
Ooh.
That clears 2 Murlocs, and I think if Eternal takes the Chain Lightning and uses it, it's
Yeah, you should. Yeah, if it's mana curve and it just This
oh wow, rolling the dice.
And
punished.
But still at 23. Still.
Yeah, well, the War Leader can come down here. You also can use Chum Bucket too to buff the War Leader. Oh, trading. Okay.
Ooh, that's.
So I just don't think here that Sharkbait really is. I think this is like a Shaman isn't super popular on ladder right now, and I don't think Murlocs versus Shaman is a very common matchup.
Yeah,
but
you don't get a lot of practice in this matchup.
No, but I think that Sharkbait's strategy just doesn't seem to be the one that she needs right now to really get this damage going. And I think here, if Eternal probably could have afforded to go with the Cavern and the Adventurer and trade, save the freeze for later, but that's a 7/7. I don't know how these Murlocs deal with it.
7/7 with a follow-up with the bird, right? Like it's just kind of the
and you have
thing.
Yeah, and you have the portal as well with bioluminescence to just clean up the board if you want to.
And the thing is, that if you're going to tap, you should always tap first, right? To see kind of what the option is going to be.
Not in this case, because the card is free if it's a Murloc.
Okay.
So I think that logic works mostly for dredging. You're completely correct. But when you know that you can play the card, I think that this is a little bit better.
My thing was more for last turn than it was for this turn, but you're right in this sense.
Yes.
I noticed that the order was out last turn.
Yeah. All right. So I think that the bioluminescence is a clear here, and I feel like Eternal probably should just take the board clear. But it looks like instead we're going to go for a very big freeze.
Which makes sense, because how does Sharkbait respond? Man, it's like you said before, there's very little from hand they can do.
Yeah,
the board's frozen, but
it's got to be exactly Twin Fin. I think that's the only way to stay in the game. Like Twin Fin with Chum Bucket those are big, and you can.
It's a real out at this point. You got 18 cards, 2 chances. Not it.
Well, you tap and go looking, but
you have to go look. You have to go look and pray. Like that's your out.
Yeah, but you still have some time. I mean, Sharkbait doesn't have caster vision. She doesn't know that there's this bio Maelstrom portal coming. And those are nearly large enough. But Brucana of the Elements, not quite lethal. Yeah, I think that this still does the job mostly with the trade. It's all good. Totem was missed, but that's okay.
Yeah, you clear or remove all doubt. Just trade. And free up your board too. More space. That doesn't look good.
Oh, Gorlock, that's the reload.
Yep. How do you stop 21 coming in?
Well, I think that's a wrap.
I don't think there's Now, but Murlocs and the Priest, that's what we have to look forward to. Now we can reverse sweep. Now we have the path to victory.
Yes.
We just have to beat Priest. Now, it just depends on what Priest they have, but it's very doable. They're oftentimes, many a week, I target a deck, right? You target a class, and you build around it, and you give away a couple games, but just know you can take care of the last one.
Yeah. Well, Eternal spots the lethal, and we move on. 2-1. So quick flip of the script here. Sharkbait's early lead has now been reversed, and we're on match point. So
All right.
I think
Which one? Which Priest is it? What do you think it's going to be?
I'm going to guess the Nagas. And I think that if that is Sharkbait's read, then she should probably come out swinging with the mage. But
I agree.
I don't know. Well, it's just so hard to know which priest it could be. There are so many choices these days.
I think Naga Priest is good. I mean, I don't see a lot of 5s playing board Priest.
That's fair.
You're right. Like it's a little bit more technical. It's a little bit more practice dive into it. It's a great deck. Nothing against it, but Naga is a much easier deck to play. There we go.
Well, that's a wig in the opening hand. Good job, Eternal.
he plays the Hearthstone well.
Yeah. Sharkbait on the other side looks like she probably wants something a little bit more proactive. I think the key to this matchup is keeping the Nagas off the board early and hoping they don't draw a wig. And
you keep the Tiny Fin in your mulligans?
I think you do here. I think you really value. Oh no.
This is not what you want to see.
Yeah, and I think you would have preferred a 1, but you still are happy to play Tiny Fin here. School Teacher. I think the only saving grace here for Eternal or for Sharkbait is that Eternal has a bit of a slow hand, and by not coining the Amalgam, Eternal puts himself in the hole here. And Sharkbait, she can get a bit ahead here, playing a 4-3, taking the board, and now it's really difficult for Eternal to do something about this.
Yeah, that's interesting. Not coining out the Amalgam to try to get ahead of a weaker start from the Murlocs.
Well, the Murlocs have no punish for 2 mana that can remove it, and then you can just go double wig on 2, which is very, very solid.
Yep. You had 2 of them, it replenishes, they go back in your hand, and it's just much bigger, right?
Yes.
You don't need the additional value of discovering another Naga off that.
Right, exactly. And Eternal goes with the Bless. I think that the Shard of the Naru might have been...
I think the Shard may have been a better play because the deck is based off of just buffing the cards. So...
Yeah. And Shadow Word Devour in hand already means that those Murlocs can't really go wide or else they take a punish. So we'll see if Eternal decides it's time to go. All right, so looks like we're going to see 1 Serpent Wig. Now the question, I think here double wig is good. Maybe you go for a Devourer as well, but I like just this. This is perfectly fine.
Now, do you coin triple wig to put it outside of range of just being dead on board?
No, the Murlocs as long as the Murlocs have a board, they have burst. And I don't think it's worth spending your coin in that situation. It might be a little bit better this coming turn. And Sharkbait here, I know it's a little bit counterintuitive, but it probably makes sense to trade the 3 smallest Murlocs to play around Shadow Word Devour.
Agreed.
Because you want to keep your board small and tall against the Nagas. That seems to be the path to success, and Sharkbait makes the right moves. So...
And you got a hand refill next turn? Yeah. I think she's in good shape.
Definitely. So Gorlock Ravager here seems like a pretty nice kickback for her as well.
Ooh.
Devouring Plague, that's a bit of a house. Amulet of the Undying also can be pretty good because that can bring back a Treasure Guard later, but
I don't know if you can play for later, right? That's one of those like it
Yeah.
could be, but definitely Devouring Plague is they're coining out a
Coining the wig here seems to be okay. The plague would be very, very risky. I
now.
don't think I.
Yeah, but coining out the wig with the scout, which that anything they play has rush, right? Like that seems, and he's already coined, so he's already committed.
Yep. I think it's a little bit suspect, but ooh, yeah, but it works out because Sharkbait doesn't really have a good punish for this. All right. Oh, the Sunken Scavenger's here. So the question is, how do you deal with this?
Ignore your face.
See, this is a mistake. If they're
You should trade.
Yeah, I think you can't ever leave Priest Big Minion up, and we'll see if Eternal has the punish. If there's a Radiant Elemental in this deck, then Sharkbait could have just, her life could have flashed before her eyes. That could have been it. But see the Devouring Plague, not great hits, but sets up a nice Devour.
Yeah. Is there a world where are you trading ever here?
As Eternal?
As Eternal, do you trade just to clear off the board? And so what would you not trade first to kind of just remove?
Well, doing some quick math, I'm thinking about double War Leader is like the scariest thing. And I don't think that's not enough damage. So I like pushing face here because Sharkbait has to trade with you or find Gigafin. And saying you need to play Vilefin and have Gigafin in your bottom 3 or you lose, pretty good proposition.
I think if you're Sharkbait, you just have to play like they don't have Bless.
Right. Right. Well, I think if you're Sharkbait, you can remove this now, which is what I would do. But if you're making the trades for her and not pushing damage and making your bless need to be even larger. Oh wait. No. Does Sharkbait still have 3 mana? Yes, right? Nope, that's it. That's game. That's it. Well, and it looks like if Eternal spots the lethal, our match is coming to a close.
One. It's not set yet. There's two.
It's done. Yep.
Yeah. I'm just making sure they have it.
Yep. Eternal's counting it. And that's it.
Oh.
So that's
quick. We got one match and it goes like this. That's Hearthstone.
Yeah. All right. And
good by both players.
Yeah.
Good playing by both players. And that's the thing with Murlocs. It's a great start, but if you don't get that early jump, it can be definitely a struggle to kind of keep the engine going. And definitely on the Eternal side, great play, great draws, no complaints.
Yep. And yeah, I think that it's a little bit tricky there too, just because especially in the 5, when you have those more non-traditional decks, the matchups are just so much harder to know. And I think it seemed like Eternal might have had a little bit more of an idea about what to do into the Murlocs than Sharkbait did about what to do into Eternal's lineup. But I think that both players use their tools well, and they seem to have consistent plans. Just Eternal got the leg up this time, and drawing 2 wigs never hurts.
Yeah, that's how you win the Hearthstones, right?
Yes.
Draw the double wig.
Yeah, I know that for me, as soon as I see the first wig when I'm playing that deck, it just, I light up. It's the best.
Absolutely.
All right, great.
Awesome. There is Eternal.
Hello, and congrats on the win.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So, one of the questions we had, I guess it came down to the Priest. choice, and what kind of tell us about your thought process on bringing Priest and specifically the Naga Priest.
So one of so I've heard that Naga Priest is really like a very strong deck, specifically like in top 1K. Initially, I was kind of afraid to bring it because when you think of like decks that are played at the highest level of play, you think of decks that aren't necessarily easy to pilot, and Blessed Priest or Naga Priest was one of them. So I figured that, right now I'm not having the greatest season. I feel like I have to pull out. I felt like I had to pull out all the stops. I kind of don't have much to lose at this point. So it's like, so I kind of went with the go, like, like, either go all in, take a risk, or worst case scenario, I continue going like winless. So yeah, I kind of decided on, you know what? If it works out, great. If not, then oh well.
Well, it didn't look like much of a risk from our seats. You played that really well, and the Naga Priest got there. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So were you anticipating the Murlocs on Sharkbait's side? I know that Murloc Warlock isn't something we've seen a lot of this season, but after the buffs, I know it's gotten a little bit more usage. Did you feel prepared for those matchups?
Yes, I did. I did somewhat also consider the Chris Warlock, but considering like it's not as fast, right? Like it's not as fast at going into its win condition. I kind of figured that Murloc is a little bit easier to pilot. And also my decks, as you saw, go very well into them because once they don't have a board, they kind of have a hard time recovering.
Yes.
Like you saw that when I was playing Charge Warrior, when I was playing the Burn Shaman. So it was pretty much like if he has Warlock, I'm pretty much favored into the matchup.
Yeah, and well, I think that was some, especially with the Shaman too. I feel like you just have such powerful tools against them with all the freezes and the burn win condition at the end. They just have such a hard time getting through that
Essence
early
is so
game.
broken. I'm sorry.
How much from a team perspective, the team dynamic I think plays a lot of part of the league, and how much do you talk about your lineups with your team? And we see some teams that have very similar lineups between the players, and some that have vastly different lineups player to player. How much of your prep goes into kind of a team, or are you just kind of feeling what's best for you as an individual?
I kind of feel like I have to prepare. I prepare mostly for my specific rank bracket. Um, I talk about some of the matchup tables and like with my teammates, kind of helping me like decide what to play. Um, right now, you know, and as far as be like talking with other teammates, we all kind of help each other out whenever possible. And like even if I'm not within the rank bracket that they are in, like if I'm like even though I'm not a 3 seed or 2 seed, like I feel like I like the little information that I have on the meta, like I can share it with like my teammates and vice versa.
Hey, as a fellow five, we carry as much weight in the points as anybody else. So, with that, congrats on the win. Congrats on the team win, because at this point, it makes it pretty much a lock for the week for SPG. Um, awesome work. Hey, and I've enjoyed our matchups we've played in the past, so I always look forward to when we play. Great work today. Absolutely well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic
I
showing,
appreciate
and
it.
yeah, and we appreciate it too. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for playing some great games on stream.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on stream and I'm glad to be on THL. This is my first team, like my first time on a different team. So being able to show what I can do Even like, without, the veteran scene of a PWE and company, like it's really good to show that I could still hold my own.
Awesome. You definitely did that today, and all it takes is one win to get everything going, right? So now that we've got
Hmm.
that behind us, then definitely look forward to what you do the rest of the season.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, with just one match
Mhm.
tonight, I think that about does it for our show. It was a pretty close contest, but 3-1 result. And Dr. Fish, tell us what's next for our THL programming this week.
Gladly will tell you. I don't believe we have any Saturday school stones so far, but tomorrow night, well, I'm actually going to be playing on stream tomorrow night for Salty Saturday. It's going to be myself versus Bite Size AC in the Legacy series, and I believe there's another match. Let me quickly check.
Yeah, who could be playing in that one? It might be me.
It's Dankus Dad versus Nails and Pro.
Yeah, for all the marbles, I've been sliding in the PR or in the power rankings. Marty's got it out for me. I got a sweep. I dropped 5 spots, and I'm hoping that if I beat Nails, I don't slide out of the top 10. So
Yeah.
we'll see if I can hang on. But maybe if I lose, I'll be number 1. So who can say?
That's how it works, right? Like that's the path.
Yeah. And then any Sunday programming?
Let me quickly check. I believe there is. My stuff is loading slow on my laptop. I will quickly check on my phone. There is. I know there is. I know there definitely is stuff. On Sunday night, it is Geranium Battle versus Yoxter in Pro. Or sorry, in Hero Series. That's at 8 p.m. So yeah, that's what we have. Oh, so Salty Saturday is gonna start at 7 p.m. with myself, and then it's gonna have Quaz versus Sharkbait.
Oh, Sharkbait's coming back.
Yeah, so that's Hero Series. That's gonna be Valicia was a baller versus F12 Obsidian, because Sharkbait is subbing in for me this week. And then the 9 p.m. will be Dankus Dad, and then that, like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern Sunday, Geranium Battle versus Yoxter, Hero Series action. No 9 p.m. yet. That's exciting. Saku always has good matches going on. But as for us, that concludes Friday night fights. Lots of big swings and haymakers back and forth between these two players, with Eternal coming out on top. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to Serenite Pengang on the week win. And we will see you all tomorrow night.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Have a good night.